All right, well, we just have a black. Okay, here we go. We're live. All right, I want to do a quick update. We've had 2 days of the College World Series so far. There's the left side of the bracket. Here's the right side of the bracket. I'm going to go over my thoughts. The what I did say on Friday, I can't remember when I said it, but before my last live stream, I said look out to see what happens in the first game because that will be a clue to who wins it all. And as you can see, North Carolina beat Virginia 3-2. Now, if we go, let me switch my windows here. Okay, so I have updated these records to account for Fridays and Saturdays results. I thought that I was actually wrong in my prediction about this Virginia UNC game. I did think that Virginia was going to win because Tar Heels is 47, and Virginia came in with 46 wins, and UNC came in with 47 wins, although that was not the case. But something to keep in mind is that this is the 77th tournament, and North Carolina equals 77. So not that big of a surprise that they're the winners of the first game of the 77th College World Series. And I said this, and we have to look at the score here. Give me a second. All right, so you see the score was 3-2. Now, 32 is a big number with championships. Championship 131, 32nd prime, as you see there. I've talked about in other live streams how the former Florida State baseball coach, Mike Martin, passed away earlier this year, and it was likely not an accident. He was likely killed in his sleep, or maybe someone slipped something into his drink, who knows? But he died on the 32nd day of the year, February 1st. And he died just before he died 11 days before his birthday. He wore number 11. I remember the ESPN, they gave us that numerology lesson. And he also died on 11 date numerology. Yeah, ESPN gave us that numerology lesson last week when Florida State was playing UConn. It was all about number 11. And from what would have been his birthday until, so if you look at how this works here, how it works here, the finals will start on June 22nd. Okay? So if we go from I'll come back to these numbers in a bit. But from what would have been his birthday until the first game of the finals is 131 days. And again, that's the 32nd prime. We just had the first game of this series, the first game of the College World Series. Final score is 3-2. 131. Championship equals 131. Mike Martin dead on the 32nd day of the year. And then the finals start 131 days after what would have been his birthday. And another thing here, so his real name was Michael Martin. Michael Martin. Michael Martin is equals 126. Now the current manager for Florida State was born on January 26th. That's also Wayne Gretzky's birthday. That's also the day that Kobe died. So that's a very interesting date. And something else I was going to mention. Oh, yes. So let me go back to here. So from Link Jarrett's birthday until what was the first game of the tournament? That was 126 days. And again, Michael Martin, 126. Link Jarrett, born on 126. And the tournament started 126 days after his birthday. I think that's a coincidence. I'm just going back to my notes here. I want to see if I missed anything. Okay, right. And I did say in my live stream the other day that I thought Florida State was going to. Oh, Florida State lost with 11 runs. We were just talking about 11. I said Florida State's probably going to lose their first game, but even if they lose their first game, don't be shocked. They still have a very good riddle to come out of the losers bracket. Let me change windows here real quick. So currently Florida State is 5-1 in the tournament. If they come out of the losers bracket, they'll be 9-1 entering the finals, and then if they win the first two games of the finals, they'll be 11-1 in the tournament. Seminoles 1-11. And that would link Jarrett's record right now with Florida State. Let me go back to that. Oh, and also I guess I shouldn't forget to mention that if they do win 6 games, they'll get to 53 wins on the season. Florida State Seminoles 241, the 53rd prime, and that would be on 53 date numerology. So we'll see if that happens. I mean, that was my favorite riddle entering the tournament. It still is. The only way that can not happen is if Florida State loses one game, so there's not a lot of margin for error for that riddle, but so far I've been spot on with how it's going to play out. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes over the next week. And I did want to show you. Well, actually, I don't know if this is correct. I want to make sure this is correct. Yeah, okay, good. That is correct. So Link Jarrett does have 70 wins as Florida State manager. And oh, no, it's actually not what I wanted to say. I'm sorry. That's not what I wanted to say. He's 52 years old right now. And from, as I mentioned earlier, from the day that Mike Martin, from what would have been Mike Martin's birthday until the first game of the finals is 131 days later. And as I said, Florida State's on 47 wins right now for the season. If they win their next 4, they'll get to 51. And then if they're in that finals, they would get their 52nd win of the season on 52 date numerology with 52-year-old Link Jarrett at the helm. So I'm still sticking with my thoughts from before the tournament. I guess if there is something that could go against Florida State in this situation, it is UNC, because UNC or North Carolina equals 77. Again, 77th tournament. Florida, or sorry, not Florida. What am I saying? Yeah, UNC Tar Heels is 126, and I was just talking about 126 with Link Jarrett and Mike Martin. Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. So I think there is a potential narrative there with UNC. With Tennessee, there also is a potential narrative. They could go 10-3 if they remain in the winners bracket. So if they beat UNC today, and then they lose one game in this part of the tournament, but then win on what would that be? Win on Thursday to get. If they lose on Wednesday and then win on Thursday, or is it going to be Tuesday? Hold on, I can't think of what days things are going to be. Yeah, so they would have to lose on if they win tonight, lose on Wednesday, and then win on Thursday. They will be 8-2 in the postseason, and then if they go 2-1 in the finals, they'll be 10-3. Tennessee Volunteers equals 103, and Tennessee Volunteers is another 77. The right side of the bracket is still really stumping me. I don't really know what's going on here. We just had a really weird game between Texas A&M and Florida. That was another 3-2 game. Maybe something's up with that. We were just talking about 32. And also, Florida, what am I saying? The Florida Panthers are about to win the Stanley Cup. And remember last year, all the Florida teams, like, they all lost in the finals pretty much. So maybe this is a kind of a retribution year. You could have Florida State versus Florida. Maybe both Florida teams coming out of the losers bracket. That's a possibility. I still think that Florida will win one game, at least one game in this tournament, because Gators is 26. They're on 25 wins in the College World Series all time. But we'll see. As I said, I'm still sticking with my initial thoughts on this tournament. While there are a couple other potential narratives out there, I'm still sticking with what I said initially. Catch you later.